right, so we'll go ahead and get started. It looks like we have a good number of participants in today's session. And just so everyone knows, we are recording today's Power Lunch series in order to share it more broadly with staff and faculty at the university. So first, we'd like to thank you for joining us for our Power Lunch series, the last one of 2020. And we're grateful for all of you for engaging in wellness with us and attending today's session. So today is titled From Tradition to Transition, Thriving Through Change. And we all know that pretty much everything during the holiday season this year looks totally different than what we've experienced in the past. And so our guest speaker will be going over how to adjust to the differences that we're facing and learning effective strategies for communicating with loved ones and friends and so forth. So I'll go ahead and introduce our speakers, and then I know Stephanie has a jam-packed session today that we are so looking forward to, and we'll get started. So our guest speaker today is Stephanie Davis. She is the Assistant Director for Learning and Organizational Development within University Human Resources. She has been in LNOD and with UHR for over 15 years. And in her role, Stephanie provides leadership and professional development programs and team development programs for staff and faculty at the university. She has a number of certifications, received degrees from NC State's College of Education, and has a passion for the Wolfpack community. And with her, she also has her daughter Carson, who is a student at NC State, who will be helping out during today's session. So Stephanie, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, and you can introduce Carson and get started.
All right, thank you, Britt. And Britt and I are co-workers, so it's always fun to help out. I'm very excited to be with you all today. I see many familiar friends, so hello to you all, and it's great to see some new faces as well. So as Britt mentioned, I'm especially excited today to be co-facilitating with my daughter Carson, since we are going to be talking about traditions and family and friends and loved ones. So Carson's going to introduce herself now.
Hi everyone, I'm Carson. I'm a senior here at NC State studying nutrition, and I'm also a wellness coach and the program assistant for Thrive Well programs at Wellness and Recreation.
All right, so thank you, Carson. So as you can see from her background, she's the perfect co-facilitator to join us today for this wellness power lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We do have a presentation ready for us today, and we're just going to go ahead and get going. So as Britt mentioned, we're going to be talking about how to transition from some of these traditions, and things are looking a little different. Obviously, we need to think about techniques for how to adjust to some of these changes and recognizing how that's making us feel. We're going to look at some tips for communicating with family and friends, because that can be difficult, especially when we have to have difficult conversations. We want to look at creative ways to maybe have some alternative holiday celebrations so that we can transition some of our traditions and do things a little differently. And then we're going to end by making sure you have some tips for having a safe and healthy holiday. So to get us started, since we're talking about traditions, I wanted to share a few traditions of our family. This is our family, hello, as you can see. And this tradition that we had was started by my mother. She really loved the Polar Express. In fact, when I was getting set up for the holidays, I found the first Polar Express book she gave me back in 1992. And that was before Carson was born. But the Polar Express became a family tradition. Reading the story, now we can watch the movie, and we actually went to the Polar Express train that's in the mountains. If anyone's ever gone to Bryson City, there is an actual Polar Express ride that you can take. And my mother passed away about 10 years ago, so it was a way our family wanted to go and honor her. Also, she loved Christmas trees. I love Christmas trees. My background is one of the NC State farms that some of our cows extension agents work with out in the Cherokees. So those are some of mine. Carson, what are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Some of my favorites are going along kind of the Christmas tree theme. Every year when we get our Christmas tree, Mom gives us new ornaments that are kind of like themed from the year. So this one was masked themed, which was kind of cute. And then also another one is PJs. On Christmas Eve, we always get a new pair of pajamas so that we can wake up in them on Christmas.
And yes, I'm one of those dorky moms. I like to dress us alike. So that's why you see this picture here of us all in our matching PJs. So now we'd like to hear from you. If you could drop in the chat, or if you feel comfortable to unmute, we'd love to hear your voices. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions? So what are some of the things you like to do during holidays, any kind of holidays? Yes, driving around looking at holiday lights. That is so much fun. And there's extras up this year, it seems like. Eggnog. Yes.
Have office parties and hang out and do with Secret Santas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hear you, Alan. Secret Santa, office parties, decorating, making cookies, I'm seeing here, singing songs, ugly sweaters, music, movies. So yeah, we all have traditions that we enjoy. And this year, obviously things are going to probably be a little bit different. And so we want to talk to you about how we can maybe change these traditions or slightly tweak them so that we can still enjoy our traditions. One of the traditions that Carson didn't mention, and it's something that she does not like, and that is my brother, sister, and I, for whatever reason, years ago, decided that on Thanksgiving night, we would watch National Lampoon's Griswold Vacation. Let me see some thumbs up if I have any Griswold fans here. I see a few thumbs up. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between with this. But for whatever reason, we decided that that was going to kick off our winter celebrations. I'm going to share with you a scene that I think might depict how we might be feeling this year, because sometimes this year's been very interesting to say the least. But let's take a look at this scene real quick.
Per strand for a grand total of 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights. Hey! 25,000.
Well, I hope nobody I know drives by and sees me standing in the yard staring at the house in my pajamas.
If they know your dad, they won't think anything of it.
Fire it up, Dad!
I dedicate this house to the Griswold family Christmas.
Oh.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Joy to the world.
And there it is, right? We get excited and we have all these plans for what we're expecting, and then boom, it just doesn't quite work out sometimes the way we want it to, even if it wasn't a COVID year. But I just love that scene. And whoops, sorry about that. Thought that it would be a good way for us to start to think about what we might be experiencing this year, knowing that our traditions are going to have to be a little bit different. So Britt is getting ready to send us into a breakout room, and what we'd like for you to discuss, first meet a new friend, say hello, of course, but what's one of those traditions that you're worried about missing this year, or maybe something you're going to have to change, and how's that making you feel? So we're going to spend 5 minutes, just share a tradition, something you're worried about missing or having to change, and how that's making you feel. And then when you get back, we'd like to hear from a couple of you, and then we're going to share some techniques for coping with this. So Britt, if you want to go ahead and send everybody to a breakout. You'll have 5 minutes.
They should have the link now.
How much time is left, Britt? Oh, I just saw that you're muted.
I was talking on mute again.
I'm going to buy everybody t-shirts that say, I'm muted. You're muted.
I feel like I should be a champ at this by now, but yeah, I'll send a message to them at 12:48, given a 1-minute warning. I'm gonna close them out and bring them back, Stephanie.
Sounds great. Okay, so welcome back. I hope you had a chance to maybe meet someone new. That's always exciting to do, and connect with some colleagues. Would anyone, just one or two people, like to share real briefly something you think you're going to miss or have to change, and maybe some of those feelings that could be coming along with that? Or feel free to put it in the chat as well.
Hi, Stephanie. This is Anna Martin. I was just going to offer a quick comment. I know we can focus a lot on all the negative things that have happened this year, but I was just telling my breakout group, usually my husband and I are on the road a lot during the Christmas to see, you know, my family and his family, both in North Carolina, but we just are never at our own house. And this year, being, you know, working remotely and all that, it's actually allowed us to decorate our house for the first time in like 5 years for Christmas. So
Yeah,
I'm a little bit excited about that and just trying to focus on the positive.
absolutely. That's great, Anna. Thank you. We have been gifted the gift of time this year, which is just precious. All right, others. Have someone miss family and friends? Absolutely. Yeah, family, some of the hardest things that we're having to adjust to, not being able to see them in person. Anyone else?
I'll say. So I usually bake a whole mess of cookies, like dozens and dozens and dozens, and I give them away to the neighbors. My husband takes some to work. I take some to work, and I'm not doing that this year. So, and I really like baking, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But my waistline will love me, but.
Absolutely. And so with both of the people that have spoken, you know, and that is what's really important, and we're getting ready to talk about that, is trying to focus on that positive and being grateful for what we can do. But it is important that when we're dealing with change, even change not in a COVID year, that we find ways to cope, because change can often elicit the same types of feeling as grief, if you're familiar with that, because even good change is acknowledging that we are leaving something behind. And so it's important that we, you know, identify how we're feeling and make sure that we are acknowledging that loss. And so that's why we had you start with that kind of activity, to really think about it, so that we could then maybe shift our perspective and help to think of alternative ways instead. You know, with change, with grief feeling, sometimes that can elicit sadness, anger, denial, stress, anxiety, many of those emotions. But knowing that is very helpful, because it can help you then to recognize it when it's happening, so that you can deal with it and then move forward, so that we can get to acceptance and thriving is what we want to do. Throughout this year, you know, COVID, you can bounce around from these feelings, obviously. I know some days I wake up in general, I'm like, wow, is this pandemic thing really happening? I go right back to denial. And then other days I'm so excited because I'm working remotely and I have more time to walk my dog and those types of things. So our holidays can have those same feelings. Make the most of it. And it sounds like a few of you, through the examples, that you are sharing. You are making the most of it. Here's another one: make cards for seniors, frontline workers. That's a great, suggestion, Alan. Thank you. So trying to find ways to keep that positive. And don't romanticize your typical holiday plans. Like Clark Griswold, he certainly romanticizes everything and he builds up all these expectations. But if we're all very honest with ourselves, our holidays can be a little challenging. There's that one relative who acts up, or there's some kind of fight, or you burn something, or it just doesn't turn out to be that picturesque feeling that we put in our head. So in some ways, it'll be nice to not have to deal with a lot of their stress. And then, of course, practice gratitude, being thankful for what we do have. Many people we know have lost a great deal this year. And so focusing on what we are thankful for can help us deal with these changes. All right, so next, Carson's going to talk to us about how to communicate with family and friends.
Yes, so above all, you want to make sure that we are talking it out. Try not to do any of these things over text message, because that can get lost in translation sometimes. So acknowledge disappointments about changes to holiday plans. Like my mom was saying, it's okay to acknowledge your feelings and feel like you're missing out on something. You are allowed to honor your feelings, and that is okay. You want to make sure you're determining everyone's comfort levels, including yours, and setting boundaries. So what one family member might be comfortable with, another might not be. And you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable over the holidays. So just make sure that you're really clear with everyone what you are comfortable with and what you're not. Have a plan and clearly communicate expectations. So maybe you are going to have a few family members over, and if you want them to wear their mask in your house at all times, make sure that you tell them that and that you are clearly communicating that expectation to them so that they don't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. And anticipate your feelings ahead of time to be prepared. So anticipate those feelings of stress and overwhelmingness and disappointment, and have a plan on how you're going to deal with that. Because when we plan ahead, it's a lot easier to cope with those feelings than when we get there and we don't have a plan how to deal with it. And we want to make sure we're being respectful and transparent. So be honest, be open with your family, and be respectful to them. Try not to get in arguments, again, because some people may feel comfortable with things that you're not, and vice versa. And that's okay, because this is a weird time and it's uncomfortable, but you need to be clear with your family and your friends, and also just be respectful of everyone and yourself. And you don't want to heighten any of this stress for anyone. So just really make sure you're being open.
All right, thank you, Carson. And I want to add, she and I have put together a resource guide for you that we're going to be sharing at the end of this presentation. There's several articles. There's also guidelines that are included from the CDC even on how to have small gatherings if you are meeting in person, or how to communicate other plans and be clear. That guide is also going to include some of the next items we're going to talk about, and that's how to get creative and have some alternative plans so that we can transition some of these traditions to maybe either some new traditions, or tweak the ones that we love and just do them a little bit differently so that we can still enjoy them. So let's look at a few of those. One is, someone mentioned baking. I know it's hard to share our baked goods this year, but we could host a virtual recipe swap where we're still swapping different fun holiday traditions, and then challenge people to bake or cook something different. So that's one way around some of the baking. And of course, I like what Karen said, we'll be able to control our waistline a little better because we won't have everybody else's office goods coming in. Host a virtual holiday dinner. Did anyone try this over Thanksgiving? I saw some very creative pictures of people with their beautiful tables set up and iPods and laptops around the dining room so that everybody could join in on some type of virtual meeting and share and still enjoy being together. plan a neighborhood food drive. I know staff sent it. Ellen was a big part of that. They just recently had a drive-through community event where you could drop off food, coats, toys.
Oh, we're not done. We have one more.
Oh, we're not done. Okay, great, Alan.
Actually, thank you so much, Stephanie. I love you. The drive is final day is the 11th, and we have expanded and changed the drive to only last for 4 weeks, and we've done them all together. So we are collecting Toys for Tots, which you know what that means. No unwrapped stuff, new unwrapped stuff, and we're expanding from coats to every item, any professional gear, kids gear, any clothes, shoes, anything you have, we take. And then the food, we're helping out to feed the pack. So whatever they need volunteers and all kinds of items, diapers, toothpaste, and everything. So thank you. That's my plug. Friday, 9 to 3. Drop in virtually, or you can come by. We're in Admin 3 parking lot, right between 2 and 1. You'll see me. You'll see our tent. God bless you, Stephanie. Thank you. And University Rec. Appreciate it.
Great, Alan. Thank you. And you can, if certainly encourage you to do our Wolfpack one. And then if you enjoy it so much, try it in your neighborhoods or areas or with friends. So there's ways that you can participate in community events, which is a nice way to acknowledge the holidays. How about a movie watch party? I need to call up my brother and sister and say, hey, we can still watch the Griswolds together. Let's just pick a time and I can share my screen and we can still sit there and laugh at the same old silly jokes. So you could do that as well with whatever your favorite movies are. Someone mentioned earlier driving to see holiday lights. That's always fun. I used to do that as a kid and I just don't do it as much anymore. Carson and I were just talking about that last night and trying to plan that in with some of our time that we have in December to just go out and see the different displays. Competitions, and I saw that someone dropped this in the chat. Yes, so here's a great way if you have competitive friends, family, have a best gingerbread house contest, or stay healthy and well and have a step challenge throughout the month, or you could host your own virtual family, friends, 5K run. If you can't run like me, then maybe you'll enjoy the ugly sweater contest that we often enjoy in our offices. You can still do that, schedule a virtual party. In HR for Halloween, we did best Halloween decor. So people sent in pictures of their Halloween decor. We had different categories, scariest, most fall, and people voted. And so that was another way to just still do some of the things we enjoy doing in a more creative, different way. Just this past weekend, I was invited to a virtual holiday party and I got this, you can't see it, but it's a box in the mail. It said, do not open until the party. So we got online and then we opened it, and inside there were markers and like this ornament that we could decorate. There was even candy and goodies to enjoy while we were having our party together. So you could certainly do something like that, or send a game that you would like to play with your friends. And by the way, that also then serves as your gift. So you're covered. So you have an activity, you send somebody a gift, and you can use it that way. So those are just a few things. In the guide that we're going to send you, we found this great virtual games link that we are including in our guide. And I just want to pop out and show you a little bit of it real quick because there's so many, but this one was really put together well. There's all kinds of ways to have virtual holiday parties. Bingo. We've also included in our guide a bingo card generator. So you can put in your holiday theme or any kind of theme. Maybe you're just over the holidays and you want to do something like, kicking 2020 to the curb theme. I don't know, but there's lots of ways that you could still play bingo. We're going to actually play this game in just a minute. But all kinds of things you can do. And of course, not advocating this, but if you do add adult beverages after 5 to some of your games, you can still enjoy some of those things that you might be doing with friends this time of year. And they even went as far as to make a holiday playlist for you. So there you have it, everything you need to host your virtual party. All right, so we thought we would try a couple just to demonstrate them. So one thing that we can do is use the whiteboard feature in Zoom to do some type of Pictionary. So who likes Pictionary? Anybody like Pictionary? A few years ago, I was invited to a party and we did holiday song Pictionary, but there's all kinds of ways you can do Pictionary. So the first thing, I'm going to have to stop sharing for just a minute, and I'm going to share with you instead my whiteboard feature so that we can play. Let's see if I can get that. So there's a video link tutorial on how to do this in the resource guide that we're providing you, but I'm just going to talk it out loud. When you go to share screen at the bottom of Zoom, you'll see a whiteboard feature. So you simply just select the whiteboard feature and share. And then it gives you this wonderful little area where you can draw and do all kinds of things and erase. So I'm going to come over here to draw. Can everybody see my whiteboard? Okay, so I'm going to draw, and I have a holiday song in mind, and I want you all to try to guess what it is. Carson, if you could help with the chat or listen out if anybody gets it correct. So tell me what you think this holiday song might be, and no judging on my drawing. This is awful.
Snowman.
Yay, okay. Frosty the Snowman. I didn't even have to finish. Thank you, because my drawing is horrible. And then you can use the eraser and just erase. And in theory, you would then stop sharing and pass it on to the next person, whoever was playing, and they would draw. But I'll do one more just for fun because I know my drawing's so lovely. Okay, I have another holiday song in mind. What is this one?
Oh, Christmas tree.
Oh, good. Yay. Okay. Not too bad, but not too great either. All right. So anyway, that's a little fun you can have on Zoom and play all kinds of Pictionary. Okay. So I'm going to stop, go back to our presentation. All right, the next game we have, holiday scavenger hunt. So there's all kinds of ways to do scavenger hunts. We've been doing those in some of our staff meetings this year. So I would like for, this one's easy. You just create a list of whatever theme you like, and then you have people go and grab an item. So for fun, I'd like for everybody to go and grab either a holiday decoration or a holiday treat, something that you might have nearby that you could hold up to the camera and share. Holiday decoration, holiday treat, some kind of goodie. Oh, I see it looks like a gingerbread house. Carmen, oh, there's a snowball. Liz, Kathy's got, is that a snowman cards or something? Fun. See lots of cool stuff. I have a Polar Express coffee mug. So I have that. So that's something easy. Oh, I see some holiday light necklace. Oh, fun. Love that kind of stuff. Another mug. Great. So when you're playing this with friends and family, you could add something like share your favorite holiday decoration and why it's your favorite to generate some conversation. So lots of ways to do scavenger hunts. I also read, since many of you mentioned you like light displays, there's a way to do a scavenger hunt by assigning a list of different lights and outdoor decorations to find. So that could be another twist on it that could add some enjoyment, and you could combine two things in one. Okay, there was one other game included in the guide that we had for everybody. So we thought we'd send you back into the breakout. We're not going to take us long this time, just about 3 minutes, Britt. But basically it's called the naughty list. And here's how it works. Because, you know, we're either naughty or nice. And I'm going to drop this link into the chat so that you have the directions. So be sure, yes, you do. Ellen, I see you said you stay on the naughty list. So in the chat, if you could click on that, we're going to play this. And basically, it's just like I never. The directions are pretty clear and simple. We are going, whoops, we don't have access. What happened? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, changed it to anyone, so you don't have to be logged into your NC State account. Let's see if this one works. We got that one now. Okay, so Britt's gonna send us into the breakout room and we're gonna quickly play this just so you get a taste for it. And then she'll bring you back in 3 minutes. So have fun. Let's see if you're naughty or nice. So I think we're right on time, Britt. We'll have plenty of time to finish. In fact, let's see. Yeah, we can let them play. I didn't realize we were doing pretty good on time, so we can give them more than 3 minutes.
Want to recall it like 1:14?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Bring them back, Stephanie. I think everyone's back.
That was fantastic. That was fun. Nice to meet you, ladies. You had a good time.
Yeah, we see a lot of smiling faces coming back in. So I hope that was a little fun. And I'm going to guess that means we have a lot of naughty people here. So let's get a thumbs up for all the naughty people. And a thumbs up for all the nice people. Yay, we're all naughty and nice at times. Yes. Thankfully, we don't have anybody watching over us to decide if we get those gifts or not, right? Okay, but yeah, so games are certainly a great way that we can have some fun with friends and family virtually. I know we all get tired of Zoom because of work, but it is more fun when you get together with friends and family. And so playing games and engaging in different ways can be very helpful for some of those meetings. Did anybody else have any idea for a game that you've seen? Feel free to drop that in the chat as well. And like I mentioned, we are going to be sharing a resource guide that has everything we're talking about today, including a lot of these, the ones that we're doing. So yes, the gift exchange game. I have heard of people doing that by mailing things ahead of time or by simply doing virtual gifts. So there are ways to do that. You could either get really fancy and do gift certificates and gift cards, or you could make up pretend gifts and do it that way as well. So that kind of thing. And Christmas cards. Yeah, great. Okay, so we want to make sure we have enough time to talk about really the most important part of this presentation, and that is how to help make your holiday season more enjoyable for you. And Carson is going to talk to us about that.
So this is what I like to call the gift that keeps on giving. This is the gift of wellness. So over the holidays, we want to make sure that we're not feeling guilty for practicing self-care. I know it can feel kind of selfish to do those things for ourselves when we have all this other stuff we want to do with our family, but don't let that stop you from taking the time you need to take care of yourself. You also want to make sure you're taking the time to take care of your health. Yes, it's the holidays and it can be fun to just lay around and drink hot chocolate and eat cookies all the time, but we also want to make sure that we're doing those things that are going to help us feel healthy. Make sure we're still moving our bodies, getting enough sleep, because ultimately this is what's going to give us the energy we need to get through this stressful holiday season. Also remember that it is okay to say no. I know that this is something I struggle with, and this is also something my mom struggles with, because we like to say yes. We like to always want to be doing everything for everyone, but that's not possible, and that's going to make you tired and make your holidays less enjoyable. So say no to those things that you don't feel like you can take on. Also, we want to make sure we're having a positive mindset. I've heard a lot of that of the participants throughout this presentation. You guys are finding ways to stay positive, even though it seems as if we are surrounded by negativity. But if we just focus on the good, it can make this a lot more enjoyable. Again, prioritize your wellness. Make sure you are taking that time to do the things for yourself that are going to make you feel good during this time. And embrace the new normal. Yes, it's easy to think about all the things that we want to change and all the things we wish were different. But if we focus on that, we're not going to be able to enjoy what we are doing. So embrace this new normal, take some ideas from this presentation and turn those into your new holiday traditions, and do something for yourself. Me and Mom were joking about this last night. Her thing for herself that she likes to do is watch Hallmark Christmas movies. And that is not something that the rest of the family enjoys to do. That is okay. She deserves that time to do that for herself, because that's what's going to make her happy and ultimately be able to be better for the rest of the family and everyone else and herself. So allow yourself that time to do the things that you need to do. It's not selfish. It's going to help you, I promise.
Thank you, Carson. Yes, you did share my little secret. I love Hallmark movies because they're always happy. There's never a problem. You don't even have to really watch them because the plot's always the same. And so it's very easy for me just to kick back and get into that. So I'm sure
Carson, to make it more fun for your family, there's a Hallmark drinking game because all the movies have the same thing and the same characters. They've now created, people who are not a huge fan of Hallmark movies, they've created the Hallmark drinking game to get them through the movie.
Sounds interesting.
That's perfect, Kathleen. Thank you. I'm adding that to the list. All right. So we are concluding now. So that's a wrap, but we would like to spend just a minute seeing if you have any questions, or if you wouldn't mind sharing something that you've learned today from our time together that you think will help you transition some of your traditions and take care of yourself this holiday. So either a question or something you've taken away from today. That would be great. We'd love to hear some. So in the chat, I'm seeing, love the ideas, want to do a holiday light scavenger hunt. Yes, and someone's asking if we're going to share the presentation. Yes, that presentation will be shared along with some resource guides, and Britt's going to show us those in just a minute. A gingerbread contest. Yes, that can be fun. And you're welcome for bringing a little joy today. We agree. We need some joy this month, especially this year. Things have been tough, but we were very happy to be with you. So thank you. And I'm going to hand it back over to Britt now.
Hey, Stephanie. So as she mentioned, she put together a great resource guide, including the links to these games. So I'm going to put that link in the chat now. We'll also follow up by email to all of you who attended today and include these links. And then also, our FastApp program with ComPsych has put together a holiday toolkit for you to utilize. It really helps you safely navigate your holiday season. And some highlights from this toolkit that you'll see that are included is a guide to keeping the holidays healthy and happy, which includes tips for coping with holiday stress this year. For those of us who may be alone during the holidays this year, which may be more so than in previous years, there's some guidelines and resources for us. And then for those of us who might be grieving during the holiday season, there's a great list of resources as well on this guide. There is a guide to gratitude. So this includes explaining the power of gratitude and how it can improve our overall mental and physical well-being. And then there's a link to a course on coping with uncertainty. And so we know during COVID, as it continues to spread, obviously updates from the governor yesterday, it's normal for us to be fearful and have a certain level of uncertainty. Humans have an innate need to understand and predict our environments. And so this guide helps us sort of try to overcome that need to feel in control and gives us practical tips for coping with uncertainty. So I'm going to throw this link to the toolkit, which we'll again also email out. And the toolkit is in English and in Spanish. So feel free to share with your colleagues who may be Spanish speaking. Make sure that they have this guide available to them. And then just a last little bit of a reminder, our next Power Lunch series will be in 2021. And we hope that 2021 brings us everything that 2020 did not. And that series is titled Find Your Fit with Wellness and Recreation, and will be presented by Naomi Matley, which is a coordinator in our group fitness within WellRec. And so we'll send out that registration link also. We have a few more minutes if anyone just wants to share ideas or talk to Stephanie or Carson. But otherwise, we hope you have a safe and happy winter break. And please make sure to be kind to yourself this holiday season.
Great job, ladies and gentlemen. That was a good activity. We need to do more of that. Thank you so much. I hope you have a nice holiday.
Thanks,
Thank
Alan.
you,
I hope
Ellen.
you have a great holiday.